Peace to everybody. This is a breaking news, and it's called FBI opens domestic terrorism case in Gilroy shooting. And of course, a couple of weeks ago there was a mass shooting allegedly in Gilroy, California. The FBI is opening a domestic terrorism investigation into the shooting that killed 3 people, including 2 children, at a popular California food festival, a law enforcement official said Tuesday. So the FBI is allegedly opening a domestic terrorism investigation into the shooting that killed 3 people, including 2 children that were at the California food festival. 19-year-old gunman Santino William Ligon fatally shot 3 people with a Romanian-made AK-47 style rifle before turning the gun on himself on July 28th at the popular Gilroy Garlic Festival. 13 others were injured. So there was an alleged Romanian-made AK-47 style rifle. And of course there was Santino William Ligon. He was 19 years old. He had turned the gun on himself on July 28th at the Gilroy Garlic Festival. The official was not authorized to discuss the investigation before a news conference. It spoke on the condition of anonymity. Alright, so the official was not authorized to discuss the investigation before a news conference, so they didn't want them talking about it at all. The person could not immediately give specifics about why the FBI is opening a domestic terrorism case. And so they have no idea why the FBI is opening a domestic terrorism case, allegedly, because, of course, everything was a mess during that time. Authorities have not yet disclosed a possible motive in the case. A separate mass shooting that killed 22 people at a crowded El Paso, Texas store over the weekend is also being handled as a domestic terrorism case. So now El Paso, Texas is also being handled as a domestic terrorism case. Terrorism case, I'm sorry. So now you got the California, El Paso, and of course, Dayton, Ohio. That'll be another domestic terrorism case as well, allegedly. So now, and of course, a separate mass shooting that killed 22 people at a crowded El Paso. The FBI's move in Gilroy came as Keila Salazar's family was set to hold a funeral mass Tuesday for the 13-year-old son in San Jose. So the FBI's move in Gilroy had came as Keila Salazar's family. They held a family for their 13-year-old son. Federal investigators have fewer tools and legal powers at their disposal in domestic terrorism cases than they do if they are up against someone tied to an international organization such as the Islamic State or Al-Qaeda. And here we go again. You got to drag Al-Qaeda in the middle of everything, right? Wrong. You can't be dragging Al-Qaeda into this mess. No. This is not Islamic State or Al-Qaeda. Has nothing to do with this. Federal investigators have fewer tools and legal powers at their disposal. Really? No, they have a lot more. They're just not telling you everything. Law enforcement officials conducting international terrorism investigations, for instance, can get a secret surveillance warrant to monitor the communications of a person they think may be an agent or a foreign power or terror group. Excuse me again. Alright, so the law enforcement officials is conducting an international terrorism investigation. All right, for instance, you can get a secret surveillance warrant to monitor the communications of a person you think may be an agent or a foreign power or terror group. And of course, this is totally out of control because they're doing what they're not supposed to be doing. Similarly, the U.S. Criminal Code makes it a crime for anyone to lend material support to designated foreign terror organizations, including the Islamic State and Al Qaeda, even if the investigation doesn't involve accusations of violence. So, like I said, Islamic State and Al Qaeda have nothing to do with this. It's full of crap. And of course, the U.S. Criminal Code makes it a crime for anyone to lend material support to designated foreign terror organizations. That means Islamic State and Al Qaeda. But they don't have nothing to do with this. There's no domestic counterpart to that material support statute, meaning federal prosecutors must rely on hate crime laws, weapons charges, and other approaches that may not carry the terrorism label. Mere membership in or support for a white supremacist organization is not illegal. The heck it ain't. It is illegal. Of course, there's no domestic counterpart to that material support statute. And there should be a counterpart for that. So this is what the federal prosecutors have to rely on. Hate crime laws, weapons charges, and other approaches that may not carry the terrorism label. Well, why would you want to rely on hate crime laws? This is what the federal prosecutors are doing. Why are they relying on hate crime laws and weapons charges? This is all a joke to them. This is all a joke. I mean, you're not because this is why people are not coming together, because everybody is allowing these federal prosecutors to rely on hate crime laws and weapons charges and other approaches that may not carry the terrorism label. And this is sickening of what they're doing, these federal prosecutors. Leave your comments below. I am out.